Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lori Gunther. I am the CEO of Synova. I feel like everybody knows me at this point, but I am joined here by Executive Board Member and President of Contagious Change, Diane Rogers. Hi, Diane.
Hi guys.
And this is our Friday Focus. The purpose of these Friday Focuses is to just have an open conversation around things that are important to our leaders. And most of the time, I feel like Diane and I are super happy on these calls and excited to talk. But I wanted to just have a moment and share with you something that was really important that happened last week. We hold planning committee meetings for our conferences, and they happen on Friday afternoons. And the last planning committee meeting I had was hard. It was really hard. It was for NICU Leadership Forum for 2026. And people are usually really enthusiastic. They want to talk themes and speakers and all those things. And the theme of this one was really around how our leaders felt completely underwater. They actually used the word dumpster fire. And as leaders, feeling as though they didn't know how to get out of the hole that they are in, that they thought COVID was the bottom of the bottom, right? And it would never be as bad as it was during COVID, Diane. And now it feels just as hard. And that they're not sure how they can crawl out of what they feel the acuity is the highest it's ever been, or they're fighting for patients, or they have lack of leadership. All of these things are causing all of this. And they said, let's be clear, it's not burnout. It feels like moral distress. And the pain in the room was palpable. Now, my background is as a crisis counselor. I'm not a nurse. And I was listening to them and I thought, how do we help them? Because they're in the middle of a crisis. And when I was a crisis counselor, it used to be like I would get my patients after the crisis was done. But it feels as though so many of our leaders are being re traumatized and at the same time not provided the mentorship or coaching that they need to help them get out of or even just find a light that
hmm
they can walk out and feel like, I've had a good week. I've done a good job. It was the opposite. It was, I don't even know where to start. I am completely underwater all the time.
hmm hmm hmm
And so for us as Sonova, we're sitting here thinking, well, we've all had times in our life, right? In fact, I met you and we connected at a time in our lives that was incredibly challenging.
Yeah,
Is it okay if I share a little bit about that?
of course, of course.
So my dad had just passed away and
Yeah,
I was not working at Sonova. I met Diane at a conference
yeah.
and I didn't feel like I could crawl out of the hole I was in. I felt like my work world was on fire, my home life was on fire, and I had just lost the one person in my life that I felt really got me, really understood me. And Diane was leading a pre-con session, and I cold called her and asked her if I could come in and listen. And what did you say, Diane?
I was so afraid I'd get in trouble if I just said that you could, but I said, sure, come in and join us. If I get in trouble, it's okay. Yes.
What I was searching for was a mentor.
Yeah.
I was looking for somebody who wasn't essentially in the fire with me
Yes.
and somebody who could help me see things differently so that I could be re-inspired to continue in a
Mm.
job and on a path that I was really passionate about. And and I came up to you afterwards. It's like sometimes you have to seek out
Yes.
the mentorship. You have to look for it
Yes.
might not be right in front of your face. It might not be in the organization you're in.
Yeah.
it may be that we have to look outside to find the solutions. And I love the way that you always say the action items
Yeah.
that help us move forward.
Yeah.
And I was also grief stricken.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't find my way out by myself.
Yeah. It's interesting for perspective, right? When Lori says she cold called, right? Because it's really hard if you've seen us together. You'd think we have been friends forever, right? But I'd actually never, ever, ever, ever heard of Lori Gunther in 2018 when we first met, right? So it was
You and
really,
everybody else.
so when she says you have to look beyond what you're used to, right? I also say you have to pay attention to the universe because the universe is like putting things in your place, right, for you to see. So that was number one. Can I just read the words that I wrote down as you were talking? Okay. So you asked, how do we help, right? And what really came to mind, and we are both huge proponents, advocates of mentorship and coaching. And the purpose of a coaching relationship is to assist your client, your people, right? To move from where they're at to where they want to go. They're stuck. And they're often stuck, as you described, in really awful places, right? And the purpose of a coach is to help to create the space where we bring to their awareness all of the resources that you have within yourself to move from where you're at to where you want to go, right? And so how do we help, right? So you find your people, you find your mentors, you find your coaches, you create the space where you talk, and then we listen and we invite hope. We ask them, what is it you want? Where do you want to go, right? We don't have control when we're stuck. We feel like we don't have the ability to step into action. And so, as a coach, as a mentor, we ask, what could you do? Right? If you were queen for the day, what steps would you take? Right? To disrupt our thinking, right? Then we move into action. We ask them people to consider different perspectives. Well, what would be possible? How do you think that is coming about, right? But the biggest thing, right, in what is it that we can do to help is that we can help each other to move forward, to um, appreciate that we have the ability to move forward, right? If you look back at all of the leaders that we know, Laura, they all got where they got because of who they are and what they did.
Right.
All of that is within them, right? It wasn't long after we met, you bought Synova,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't long after you bought Synova that you grew Synova, right? And you know me, right? You know, I'm the biggest problem in my own business of holding myself back, and you're the person who encourages me to move, right?
That's such an important because I think we see people on a pedestal in a lot of cases, right? Like, oh, well, I mean, people quote you all the time. They're like, how you show up is how they show up, right? Like, there's a million. Diane,
Yep.
I mean, my favorite is I hear you clucking big chicken. Like,
Yeah.
I hear you say the things, then I say. And we don't think about it that way. You don't think about your legacy or like, no, we want to help one person, one leader, one friend at a time.
Yes.
And I think, Diane, the thing that happened for me was that you showed up for me when I needed it, even though you didn't really know me.
Yep.
We had to really gain trust. We had to to know each other. We
Yep.
had to like invest in the relationship, which is what a real mentorship is.
Yes.
But
Yes.
then at
Yes.
some point,
Yes. Yes.
it becomes a dual relationship where then I feel like, and I
100%.
remember the exact moment when you called me, you know, and your mom had just passed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you called me on your way to the cemetery and you said, I need you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
need you to talk to me and tell me what to do here. And that moment solidified for me, one, our friendship and relationship, but two, that I could return the favor
Yes.
that you had given to me when I had felt my lowest. But the core thing is that we had to actually reach out
Yes. Yes.
in a moment of sheer vulnerability and trust that the
That's
person we were reaching out to was going to reach back,
a true statement.
give us what we needed.
True
And, when people ask me, they say, you and Melissa have like a great partnership. Really hard as two very successful, opinionated women to have a great relationship. And I would tell you that that relationship formulated on one night with one thing that she said to me, and it was when my dad was dying. I called nobody.
Hmm.
I called nobody, didn't want to talk to anybody, and I called her. And
Hmm.
I think inherently I knew
Yeah. Yeah.
that I knew as a person, as somebody I had worked with, that she would show up for me. And she did. And she told me the most kind and loving thing that anybody had ever said to me. And that's why we are so close in every way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's about knowing that as a leader, we don't have all the answers. When it
Yes.
feels like it's on fire and we're
Yes.
grounding,
Yes.
you have to reach out,
Yes.
ask for one, validation, help, but also I think I always go back to you as to like, what am I going to do? What are the strategies? It's not just about venting, it's not just about being validated.
Um,
It's how do I manage my way out of this situation?
what do I need to do to be unstuck? The last the so we have to reach out. We have to trust that someone will reach back. Now, I do want to add that the people who are reaching back, you don't have to be a coach. You don't have to be a CEO of a company. You just have to be present. You just have to be curious. You just have to be empathic, kind, and loving. That's it. You just have to listen and be there, right? But like with coaching, right? People have to call us in order for us to help them get unstuck, right?
Yeah.
So if you're in that stuck place, right? And if you know that movement is what will help to get you out of there. So if you're the one stuck, you're the one who has to reach out, right? You're the one who has to choose to make the move
Yeah.
and then trust that there will be others who reach back, hold your hand, and walk that path with you forward.
Yeah. And I would always say, choose wisely. Choose wisely. When you
Oh, true statement.
reach
True,
out to somebody who doesn't have anything invested in the issue that you're bringing forward.
true statement. True
Because sometimes we trust very openly, and
statement.
that trust can be violated.
True
So I
statement.
always try and look outside of my direct network,
True
right,
statement.
to
Yeah.
find the person that I know will answer the call. And you know what
Yeah.
is amazing to me about this community is that even last night, I reached out. I really needed somebody, and I reached out and I called David, and he never doesn't answer when I call.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
never don't answer when I call because if I'm calling at 8:30 on a Monday night, it's like there is
Yeah.
a problem that I need to work through. But I would say really think
Well,
about it.
something grand happened, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be wonderful, but also to think about what you're about to say
Yeah.
and what vulnerability you're about to share
Yes.
and make sure that the person you're going to share it with is going to show up the way that you need them to. And
True
it's
statement.
okay to ask.
That's really important, right? Because sometimes we reach out to the people who don't help us move.
Yeah.
They're the ones who help us stay stuck, right? Oh, you're right. That's a horrible situation. The war, right, right. I'm so sorry this is happening to you. We don't want that. Those people. Those people keep us here. They
No,
they keep us in the land of victimhood,
the
right?
negative Nellies of the group, right?
Right. So we want the people who are going to challenge our thinking, who are going to invite us into that new space, who like even like, oh, she's going to tell me I'm going to have to do this. Yeah, that's the person you want to call because they're the ones who are going to help you get unstuck, you know.
I love
So
that. Well, thanks, Diane. Thanks for always being that person. And I think we're that person for so many people. And if you're listening to this and you're feeling stuck and like you're underwater, know that there are a community of people who would answer that 8:30 call. You just have to make it.
true statement. True statement.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. We hope you have a great Friday. We hope this has been helpful. And if you have any topics or anything that you'd like to hear us talk about, please feel
Yeah.
free to share them in the comments because this is really fun and something we'll be doing 2 to 3 times a month. So I hope everybody has a great rest of your Friday.
Bye, guys.